Yo, what's going on with y'all? It's your boy Neo, and today I'm going to be talking about the successful launch of smart contracts on Cardano. I think this is a very historic moment for crypto, and I think it's something that we should be very excited for and something we should be very happy for. Now, getting right into it, earlier today, as you can see, there was a live stream, and this live stream was basically a watch party of contracts going live on Cardano. I may pull up a little bit of it in this video. This was live, so I know some of you guys may have missed it, but I'll leave a link to this video in the description. Now, during this video, I'll talk about a couple things. It's a 40-minute video, so I'm not going to talk about everything. Like I say, you guys can watch the whole video if you guys want. Now, some of the things that I just want to point out, some of them funny, some of them just cool. First off, this is a random frame that is paused. I didn't purposely do this, but I'm noticing it now. Look at the big smile on Charles Hoskinson's face. You can just tell that he's very excited, and you can tell that he's very proud of Cardano. Because a lot of people didn't believe in Cardano, and that kind of has something to do with the reason he actually is wearing this outfit. Now, what's this outfit? You guys can see it has his name on it, Charles. So it's custom made, and you can see it has a ghost on the side right here. He actually talks about it in this live stream a little bit if you guys do end up watching it. But basically, he's wearing this because there are some people who used to call Cardano a ghost chain. Now, why is this? Because, some people say that ghosts aren't real, you know, ghosts don't exist. And that's basically what they were saying about Cardano. They were saying like Cardano doesn't even have smart contracts. Smart contracts don't even exist on Cardano because, Cardano is a smart contract platform. So people were basically saying smart contracts don't exist. Cardano is a ghost chain. That's where the whole calling Cardano a ghost chain goes. So now, right here, he's basically wearing this. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's kind of just a little funny nod, if you've been following closely in the community. But, just going to talk about it because he is wearing it. So he's wearing this because, like, it is finally going to be over. Cardano is going to have smart contracts. So nobody can call it a ghost chain anymore because it it has smart contracts now. They exist, and it's just very exciting. So let's just play this video and see a little bit of what Charles has to say.
And these were not easy tasks because you were always having this incredibly difficult trade-off between how expressive your system can be compared to how secure and deterministic the system can be. And what you're seeing today is the culmination of those 4 years of work. Now, there's a lot of work that has to be done to get us to a position where all the pieces pull together and it's the platform gets fully commercialized. But now that's as much in the hands of the community as it is us as system architects, because you can run smart contracts now. And we're probably going to be under the greatest load we've ever seen as a network in the history of the network. As Neil mentioned, over 500,000 transactions just the last 5 days. That was more than the entire cumulative set of transactions the first year the system was in.
So I'm just gonna pause it right there. I think he said a lot, so I'm gonna unpack some of what he said. Basically, he's saying for the past 4 years, people have been pretty much, doubting Cardano, and however, they were working very, very hard. Even though people were doubting, they were working pretty, pretty hard because they didn't want to launch it without it being ready. So they instead took their time to pretty much develop it without rushing it out. So that's why it was like Cardano's inception took place, pretty much 4 years ago. However, smart contracts are coming out 4 years later. You guys pretty much see what I'm saying? So like smart contracts are finally here. And he's saying like it was probably the hardest thing of their careers, getting Cardano up and running. And I can imagine. So, I mean, you're doing research, you're having research papers, you're doing peer reviewed, you're testing things, and you're making sure things are working before you release it to the public. So I appreciate that approach to things. And he's also saying that now that smart contracts are up and running, us as a community, it is up to us to help, bring Cardano further along, because now that smart contracts are up and running, we can run things on Cardano and, be more engaged in the community. For example, you're watching this video right here about Cardano. This is a part of the community. You're a part of the Cardano community. Now, moving along, just something I want to get out of the way. So, what is a contract? In the basic form, a written or spoken agreement, especially one concerning employment, sales, or tenancy that is intended to be enforceable by law. So, I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with contracts. Mostly everyone who's an adult knows about contracts. If you didn't, I just read the Google definition. So yeah, it's pretty much all right. So I'm gonna break it down even more. A contract is pretty much an agreement that is intended to be enforced by the law. All right, now moving on to smart contracts. What is a smart contract? A smart contract A smart contract is a self executing contract with the terms of the agreement between buyer and seller being directly written into the line of code. All right, so a contract is enforced by law. A smart contract is enforced by code. All right, so basically they're kind of similar, but with code, it's more like inputs and outputs. It's not You're not gonna need some outside source coming to enforce it because sometimes, let's be honest, outside sources cannot be trusted. With lines of code, you know what you're getting into. All right. The code is basically gonna be the law. The code is the law, and the code can be read, and computers are gonna execute the code computers are pretty much going to execute the code without any third party having to enforce it. All right. So it's either you're trusting the computer to do it or you're trusting some outside source. You know what I'm saying? So in this case, let me give us a very simple example of an input output scenario. All right. So you have a vending machine. This is a very common example that people who try to explain smart contracts talk about. You have a vending machine. You want a soda from the vending machine. You put the input is going to be $1. You're going to input $1 and you're going to get a soda. All right. How does this apply to crypto? Okay, you let's say you want a stable coin. All right. You're gonna input your Cardano and then you're going to be outputted a stable coin. You see what I'm saying? And it's just going to be executed by the code. That's a very simple way of putting it, but it can be expounded upon to pretty much by limited by only by your imagination. This because it's going to be written by the code. So you just write a code and it could be a very detailed smart contract because the explanation I just gave is very simple, but it could be very very like complex. It could get a lot more complex. Now, moving on, what can we build on the with smart contracts? So all of this right here can be built onto Cardano now that they have smart contracts. I kid you not. So like with the stablecoin example that I just used. Let's see right here. We have some of these stable. Okay, so right here we have some stable coins. Also the JED. We should put the JED on this list. Basically, a stable coin is going to be pegged to some kind of stable currency, and you could swap out for things. Now, speaking of swapping things, we have things for that called DEXs, decentralized exchanges. So you can go to one of these. Right now, the most popular one is Sunday Swap. This project can now go live onto Cardano because Cardano has smart contracts. So it can be built upon Cardano. You know what I'm saying? So they can build a decentralized exchange. It's going to be based on smart contracts. So you could go to their decks and this is going to be the place where you pretty much can put in your Cardano and then you can swap it out for something else. And there's not going to be anybody enforcing it. It's all going to be enforced by the code. You want to swap out 2 Cardano for 1 stablecoin? You can do that, and it's going to be swapped out by code automatically, kind of like by the computer. So we got all kind of stuff now. So all of this stuff is going to pretty much be built upon top of Cardano now that it has smart contracts. Sunday swap is pretty much going to be out in October. Right now, there's not many smart contracts running on Cardano ADA, and I suppose that's why people aren't talking about it as much. I would guess, I really don't know why more people aren't talking about it, but hey, if you're watching this video, me and you are talking about it right now. So they have they have like this one launching in October, and some of these are, I'm not familiar with every single one on this list. Like this is a massive list, but let's just speak hypothetically. All of these things can now be up and running on Cardano. They're capable. I'm not saying that they're gonna have to do their own work to create the program, but they can be now be deployed. So they can now be put into action, and we can now use them if they deploy them. So whenever they come, they come. Don't rush it. You know what I'm saying? They could if they wanted to, hypothetically, they could deploy right now. They could deploy right now if they wanted to, but considering how it just came out about 6 hours ago, they might want to take their time. Give them a couple months to launch, and we should be up and running with some of these right here. This is gonna bring massive adoption to Cardano, because people feel like I said, Cardano is like a ghost chain, but now they're gonna have all of this stuff to do on Cardano. So now people are gonna be there. It's not gonna be like a ghost town. So it's gonna bring value to the ecosystem as well. This is a big ecosystem. Some of these projects are going to fail. Some of them are gonna fail. Some of them are not gonna be good projects. However, the good ones are gonna be like some gems, and it's gonna be amazing. And we are still early. So let's look at this tweet from Charles Hoskinson. He's kind of having a little fun here. Now, in this right here, he's talking about these it's a meme, all right? So it's pretty much a joke. So it says these smart contracts on Cardano. Are they in the room with us right now? And it's basically a joke on the fact that, people would call you crazy for thinking Cardano has, value, even though it didn't have smart contracts. And now, like, he's basically poking fun at the fact, like, okay, now guys, you cannot say Cardano doesn't have smart contracts anymore, because it does. Like, you know, because now nobody's crazy. Like, you would think the therapist doesn't believe like what the patient is thinking about. Like, our card, like, he's the therapist is probably thinking like smart contracts aren't real on Cardano, and she's like, I promise we have smart contracts. So it's just kind of like a little joke. In this, some showing right here, this is from his tweet, it's showing that smart contracts are in fact up and running. Up and running. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, please leave it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's been your boy Neo, and I'm out.